What is up? What is up? Welcome back to another NFL Rundown brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm here today with the prop wizard, the prop king, Tyler Hicks, and we are ready to jump into another exciting weekend of NFL action. Tyler, how are we feeling today?
Oh, we're good. Just trying to get myself aligned in the middle of the camera, not off to the left or right. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
But time to find some NFL winners. I think we got a nice board here this week. I think we'll find some money.
All right. Well, let's jump right into it. The first game is a game that I actually liked on Tuesday when we did the rundown with the sides and totals. And I didn't like too many, right? So the ones I did like stuck out, and this was one of them: the Baltimore Ravens versus Chicago Bears. And hey, I got some great news on that play today as Khalil Mack out for the season. Obviously, too bad for Khalil Mack to be missing the rest of the year, but obviously helps my bet there as well. Any more thoughts on the sides and totals before we jump into the prop?
Not in this game. I mean, it's looking like Lamar Jackson's going to play. I know he missed practice with a non-COVID illness, but that
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's going to hinder him much into this one. And you touched on Khalil Mack being out, so this defense is going to be a lot easier to run on without him in there. So see how that
Yeah,
goes.
it hurts the pass rush too. I mean, obviously he's like a game-changing type of player. Even if he has declined just a little bit in the past couple of years, still one of the best players in the NFL on an already banged up Chicago defense. So that being said, how are we targeting this game when it comes to props?
I mean, looking at it, you want to go with the rush game for Baltimore because you figure they should be running the ball a ton here. But I
Hmm.
don't see any props listed for their running backs yet. So
Hmm.
maybe you get in on a Freeman anytime touchdown,
Okay.
or maybe you just go right to Lamar Jackson at 61 and a half rushing yards and just hope he just puts the ball in his own hands and just runs all over this defense, which he possibly could do.
He possibly could, right? Especially with not being able to get as much practice this week. Maybe a little more of a backyard feel as they're not able to implement the game plan that they normally do. Maybe a little more of Lamar freelance as they definitely want to get things done there with the Baltimore Ravens. As a Pittsburgh Steelers fans, did you have any thoughts on Le'Veon Bell being released this week?
I mean, not really. It was actually surprising to see how skinny he looked in their backfield. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
wearing number 17 made him look like a receiver even more, but that doesn't look like the same Le'Veon Bell we had in the backfield. He was ginormous when we had him, and he
I
looked
mean,
like a goddamn slot receiver when he was in their backfield.
for whatever reason, you just can't take time off football and come back. It seems like that anyone that misses significant time, and if it's not for an injury, right, that does it by choice, never comes back to be the same player they were. And he looked to be a shell of
It's not an
himself.
easy sport to like condition yourself for outside of just actually
Right.
playing it.
Yeah, so the guess right around Miami on jet skis did not help him get ready. When we're looking at the receivers, is there any guys that we want to target here? I see that and Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, missed practices this week with a thigh injury. Rashad Bateman, a rookie that's kind of flying under the radar, he does pretty well as a DFS target. And then Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson on the other side, although Robinson is doubtful. Anything you're looking at from the receivers or the tight ends?
I'm looking right now to see if we can get it on a Bateman anytime touchdown because I don't see
Okay.
any props listed for those guys yet. But
Yeah.
he is overdue to be in the end zone. If we're
Mhm.
not going to have Marquise Brown in this game, you have a very good chance he gets in the end zone. So let's see. I see him plus 350 to score a touchdown. I think that's going to be our first play we put in the chat spread.
All right. And that was Bateman, right?
Yep.
Bateman plus 350, anytime touchdown. All right. And no interest in Andrews or Cole Kmet?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's very likely that one of them gets in the end zone, but I don't
Mhm.
see Chicago's offense doing very well here.
Mhm.
They're going to be blitzing the hell out of Fields. Their offensive line's bad, so he's going to be running for his life. So I
Mhm.
really want no props on that side. And Mark Andrews has been so hit or miss this year. I think it's time to stay away from him too.
All right, staying away from Mark Andrews. Let's move on to the next game. Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings. I mean, this is a fantastic game from a fan's perspective. I think it's tough to get involved gambling wise. You can make arguments for both. I think if you're running statistical models, they'll tell you that the Minnesota Vikings plus the points is the right play in Minnesota, right? Where Rodgers, we know, is definitely less effective on the road. But do you want to go against an Aaron Rodgers that's pissed off? That's obviously pretty concerned about everything that's been said about him. And whenever he has a chip on his shoulder, he seems to up his level of play. So I don't know. I lean towards the backers, but I didn't get involved here because the numbers tell me to go the other way. Did you have you since? So we both thought this is kind of a toss up on Tuesday. Since then, have you changed your mind? Are you going to get involved on the side or the total, or are we just going straight to the props?
I mean, if I'm doing anything, I'm taking the over in this game because yes, Green Bay's defense has looked very good the past couple weeks.
Right.
This team is 9-1 against the spread. They have to lay another dud at some point this year, right? This team isn't going to go 16-1 against the spread. I could see it happening right here, but I think when they do lay that dud, it's probably going to be in a game where a ton of points are scored. And what better team than the Vikings that has another high-powered offense that can, I think, overpower this defense and put points on the board. So, yeah, give me the over in this one.
All right. And I did the Denver City cast with Holden this morning, and a prop that he was high on was A.J. Dillon over his rushing yards. What were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. It sucks that he's now the lead back because we were getting that number at like 39.5, and he was blowing it out of the water. Now he's all the way up to 81.
Yeah.
But he is going to be the lead back. I don't see many other guys getting rushes here, so he should be good to go over that. But I'd rather play his anytime touchdown at minus 125.
Okay.
The dude's a giant, but he's a bull when he's in that goal line, so it's hard to bring him down. If they say if Rodgers throws a deep ball and pass interference is called, he could walk right into the end zone. So
yeah,
I don't hate doing that.
And you guys know that my thoughts on pass interference, but as handicappers, we have to remember they call that pretty liberally, right? Any type of contact at all, they're quick to put those flags out, put themselves on television. I'm wondering, like, do their families not believe that they're NFL refs? So they got to get as much TV time as possible. Not sure why that's happening, but that is the case, and I think that strengthens your case for the Dillon anytime touchdown. Any more on this game, or should we move to the next one?
I don't hate a Randall Cobb over 35.5 receiving yards. You figure Aaron Jones was basically his number 2 receiver behind Adams. Well, now somebody else has to get that work. They're not going to throw the ball to Dillon a ton, I don't think, out of the backfield. Cobb will be in the slot. I think he's going to use his old teammate a lot here.
All right. I put that one in the chat, and I agree with you, Randall Cobb. The guy that he really was pretty adamant that the team bring him back. The Indianapolis Colts are heading to Buffalo to take on the Bills. This was 7.5. Looks like the Colts have taken a little money as this is down to 7. The total is 50. I lean towards taking the points with the Colts. I don't love it because I do think that I underestimate the Bills more than most people. And hold on, let me backtrack real quick because we got to answer Jonathan Nelson's questions. What do you think of Cook over 23.5 receiving yards?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, he gets a couple dump offs. He gets one in space and gets you 10 to 15 yards right there. You should be golden. So I don't hate that play at all.
All right, and there you go, Jonathan Nelson. And our guy Pocky QB says Cobb gets a TD two each time. So let's go back though to this Colts Bills. I lean the Colts, but I'm fine staying away from it overall. But I do think that they can keep it close. If they do, that's good for props, right? Blowouts are where props go to die. What are your thoughts on the props in this game?
I was going to touch on the side beforehand.
Oh, let's do it. I want to hear it.
I think Jay broke this game down the best way to do it on the Picking Winner show on Wednesday. And he hit the Colts right on the head. He said this team is just 1 week they look like they could be a Super Bowl contender. The next week they look like they could be a bottom 5 team. So looking at it, Buffalo's kind of reeling coming into this. Yeah, they got their feet set last week and they played better. But I could see this being the Carson Wentz game where he's turning over the ball a lot and Buffalo's getting short field and just punching touchdowns in. We can't use Sam Darnold anymore, spread, so why not use Carson Wentz for the interception prop over a half, minus 135?
You know that because I've been a big Carson Wentz detractor. I was doing it before it got trendy, right? Now everyone's on, the getting rid of the Wentz wagon. But I remember I was doing it back when he was still putting up numbers. So I'm happy to join this over 0.5 INTs.
I know he hasn't thrown many this year, but when he's throwing them, they're usually in the red zone. I also think they'll be playing from behind here, which forces them to throw it a bit more. Yeah. So I could definitely see him putting the ball in a bad spot and Tre'Davious White or one of them guys picking it off.
I mean, every time he flips the ball, it's a potential interception, and he hasn't learned from his mistakes. So I'm happy there, and we will see how an opportunistic Bills defense handles that. So that's my favorite play that you've given out so far. What other props are you looking for in this game?
The other one I was looking at was Jonathan Taylor. We're going to take his receiving yards over 24.5.
Okay.
Just for a simple fact, I think they'll be playing from behind here. they're going to want to get their best player the ball some way. And when you're playing from behind, you can't just run it down the other team's throat. So they'll be throwing him little pitch screens here and there. If he busts one for 10, 15 yards, just like Dalvin Cook, he's going to blow that number out of the water for you. So I don't mind that.
All right, Tyler and I will be rooting for checkdowns after placing the Taylor over 24.5 receiving yards bet. Let's move on to our next game here. The Detroit Lions heading to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Baker, I guess, is going to play.
Yeah, I think he's going to play. They said that injury wasn't too bad last week. I don't know why he's still playing, Spread. Like, if you want the guy to, like, be good, let him get healthy.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to pay him, just keep running him out there while he's hurt.
Hey, maybe that's it. Maybe they've been listening to the NFL rundown with Spread Astaire and Tyler Hicks. They said, you know what, Spread's right. We can't give this guy $30 million. Let's just run him into the ground and grab a rookie and hope he turns out to be Mac Jones. So, all right, well, I'm capping it as if Baker's playing, although I don't think you need Baker to beat the Lions. So you and I both agree this is a mistake. Now, what's going on in the quarterback on the Lions side? Is it true that some guy named Tim Boyle is making the start, or is this not confirmed?
Well, I got the notification that said Goff's doubtful for Sunday, so it probably will be Tim Boyle in.
Boyle, huh?
I don't see any props listed for this game yet, but we do have touchdown scorers.
Okay.
So we just take Nick Chubb 2+ touchdowns here. This
Two?
is the perfect game. It all lines up where he's just running all over them.
We're not worried about maybe effects of COVID or the coach also trying to limit his exposure on his first game back?
Not really. I mean, this is Detroit. Maybe he gets limited after his 20th carry, but they usually get him up into them 20s before they're like, all right, calm down. Like, we're going to try something else. And just like Lamar Jackson said in the chat, there's going to be 13-mile-an-hour winds on that Sunday for that game. I'm not going to be able to throw the ball much in that wind, so it's going to be ground and pound city for Cleveland.
All right. Well, I hope you're right. I'm putting it in the chat right now. You said Chubb over 2 touchdowns?
Yep.
Or is it over 1.5? Do you push it to, or is
2+
it over
touchdowns?
So it's really over 1.5.
You win it too, yeah.
I'll put over 1.5 in there. That's easier for my brain to understand. What is the number on that? You got to be getting plus money, right?
Yeah, it's right around plus 450.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll get with you there. What's one? Like minus something?
Minus 165.
Wow. Oh, this is the way to attack it then. I like your look there. Great research there. I think that's a much better way to attack the game.
Maybe Dearness Johnson gets in and steals one from you, but I think with Chubb back, I don't think he steals much work.
I don't know if he steals goal line work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he chops him down the field, and then Chubb comes in and gets us a touchdown.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think that he's going to get those goal line runs, being the powerful runner that he is. And then there's not much on the other side, right, with the uncertainty around the quarterback situation.
Yeah, looking at it, maybe you play like a TJ Hawkinson touchdown at plus 270, but we haven't seen much out of Tim Boyle. I really don't want to get much.
Do you know who he is? I don't think I've ever seen him play football before.
I've heard the name before.
Where's he come from?
But he's just always been like the typical backup that I've seen. Like just playing Madden, you're like scrolling through the teams, you see Boyle as like the third quarterback on the list.
I guess he was the backup on the Packers before.
Yeah, I believe so.
But it said that mostly all he ever did was hand off or do the kneel downs when they didn't want to send Roger in there. So yeah, not a lot of tape on him, which makes sense why the sports books
Do you remember that one Green Bay backup that played week 17? It had to be like 6-7 years ago.
Who, Don Mikowski?
Was that the one that went in and threw like 5 touchdowns?
This is in the 80s. I don't know. I can't remember who you're talking about.
There was one that went in threw 5 touchdowns in week 17, and then some team paid him in the offseason.
All right. If anyone remembers in the chat, I don't remember, but you guys might remember Don Majkowski, who was the Green Bay Packers quarterback before they drafted Brett Favre in the early 90s. And he said he signed with Seattle. Who was it?
I think it's Ryan Finley, isn't it?
No, it's Matt Flynn. And then he signed with Seattle. And then they drafted. Okay, now you remember me. So then he signs with Seattle. They draft Russell Wilson. They're like, oh, wait, this kid is way better. Then he signed with the Raiders and lost the starting job to Derek Carr the following year or something in that manner. And I don't remember hearing from that.
Off of one game spread.
That's fantastic. Yeah. All right. That's good knowledge. You see, you sparked my memory there. Old man still got it sometimes. Let's move on to the Washington football team. They are taking on the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are -3.5. I think this is a tough game to get involved with, but I did like the Panthers. And my idea is that Cam just like makes everybody better. It's like, running a boost on Madden where everybody's attributes go up a couple points, because I think that this team had lost belief and they had lost faith. And I think the belief is back in that locker room. And that's what I think the intangibles that Cam Newton brings. So everyone's going to argue that he can't move the ball and that he really can't throw the ball that well anymore. I think that's smart that they brought him back, and I'll be interested to see what he does. How are you approaching this game, and what do you think of my thoughts on the side?
I mean, I don't hate this thoughts on the side. My worry here in this game is I think Carolina's good to win this game. But the curveball that keeps popping up to me is you have Ron Rivera on the other side who knows this pretty much this entire locker room inside out.
Does he though? Like they've had pretty high turnover since he left, haven't they? He's kind of gone for a
as
couple
much
years.
as you would think. Like all the key players, he's pretty much coached outside of maybe a few of the cornerbacks and like the guys
he did
they
coach
drafted
Cam
in a few years. Yeah, he coached Cam, he coached CMC, he coached DJ Moore, he coached Robbie Anderson, so he knows all their weapons. Could be a weird game, but seeing McCaffrey's only -125 to score a touchdown, I think you got to auto bet that.
All right, I'm putting it in there right now. What else were you looking at there? I think it's a tough game to handicap. I mean, if you tell me, hey, I'm not going to do any bets on this side total or props, I don't think that's the craziest.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, McCaffrey's rushing yards are set at 65.5. His receiving yards are set at 46.5. Receptions are 5.5. I would rather play the receptions at 5.5 at +115 because you're getting worse juice on both of the other numbers. And he's going to get pelted with the ball. He had 10 targets last week. Unless they're going to DJ Moore or a deep ball to Robbie Anderson, it's going to be a wheel route or a dump off to McCaffrey. So he could easily get you 6 catches here.
All right. Time to ask the hard-hitting questions. What's a bigger loss for their respective defenses? Khalil Mack to the Bears or Chase Young to the football team?
With the way they played this year, it's got to be Khalil Mack, you would think, right? Okay. Chase Young just hasn't done anything impressive. He hasn't looked the same as he did last year. Okay. I think he was dealing with a little bit of a nagging injury the entire time, and then it just got worse.
Yeah.
But ask me that question in 3 years, it could be a completely different answer.
Yeah.
Even next year.
Well, no, I was just thinking just for this week because, that's 2 big D linemen out that mean a lot to their respective defenses. So, just kind of some fun. That
on the
Mac
right side for both defenses, they have a ton of pieces surrounding them that just kind of funnel in, and they should be able to stop the run a bit better. But without their key guys, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, definitely agree there. Anyone else in that game that you're looking at?
Not really. I mean, Terry McLaurin's receiving yards are pretty low, but this Carolina pass defense has been pesky, so I'm not getting involved in that.
And he'll get Gilmore, right? Who's kind of been forgotten about as one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL.
Yep.
So I don't know if he'll shadow.
If you want to lay the juice spread, Taylor Heineke over a half interception -145.
What do you think? So I'll be honest, like I try to watch the football team as little as possible. I haven't been betting on their games, and I don't know. They're just not that exciting team, so I'm not as high. I mean, not as knowledgeable on Heineke. Is he an interception machine? Is he a turnover machine?
He can become an interception machine. Let's just say that. Like he throws one here and there, but once he gets going and he's forced to throw the ball a lot, like they could come in bunches. Wow. Now this could be a low-scoring game, so that's my only worry there.
Yeah.
But if they're forced to throw in the game and you can get a live interception prop on him at a better price, definitely worth the look.
All right. I like that look as well. I'm always down for these interception props. The Houston Texans head to Tennessee to take on the Titans, and I've heard different thoughts on this one. And one of them is like the Titans have to let down, right? But it's like I've been hearing that for about 3 weeks now. So I think I'm going to bet that they're not going to let down until I see it because Vrabel seems to have these guys going. Obviously, the loss of Derrick Henry hurts, but hey, there's plenty of teams that don't have good running backs and put up a lot of points. Look at the Buffalo Bills. So I think the Titans can overcome it. I actually lean towards laying the 10 here. I didn't bet because, not too exciting to lay 10 points in a National Football League game. But as the game gets closer, I might jump in on that side. What are your thoughts? Has anything changed since we talked about this game on Tuesday?
Nope. I'm still on the other side of you here. Give me all the points with Houston. I think, just like you said, team's got to eventually lay a dud. I'm not pinning down that as my strategy for this one. They play New England next week. big look ahead spot for Tennessee. I think they're getting ready for that game. That's a team they could see in the playoffs. To where this Houston team's just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they've looked bad, but I think they're going to fight pretty good in this game, and I think they'll keep it within double digits. So, give me the 10.5 with Houston.
Well, I want to let everyone know that when I did the NBA rundown today, I did not look ahead to this show. I had my sights focused on the show I was doing, and I hope the Tennessee Titans can do the same. So hopefully they won't fall prey to the look ahead, but of course that is always a possibility. So you do like the Texans here? There should be some low numbers if you want to attack that side of the field on props. Tyrod Taylor back in there. Of course, we'll get the three-headed monster of David Johnson, Philip Lindsay, Rex Burkhead back there, and Brandon Cooks has been pretty good. What are you thinking for props on this game?
I mean, Tyrod Taylor over 22.5 rushing yards, I think, is a go-to here.
Mm.
Yeah, I think he's going to run the ball a ton, and we've seen Tennessee's pass rush has gotten pressure a lot lately. So if they do keep getting pressure, he's going to have to run. I think that 22.5 could be a gift. I think we could see him get up to 40 here. And then as for the running backs, I don't hate playing like a Philip Lindsay anytime touchdown. Let me see what the price we can get on that. Because he seems to be getting a little bit more of the actual run game work while Johnson's playing in the pass game. Let's see, Philip Lindsay anytime touchdown plus 400. I think that one's worth a shot in the chat spread.
All right, I was trying to put the rush one again. I don't know why it kept rejecting it. All right, we have it through that time. So I got the Taylor in there. That's Tyrod Taylor, if you guys are late to this. And then Philip Lindsay, what was the number on there?
Plus 400 to get in the end zone.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So is there any Titans that you're running it back with, or is this the Tennessee fade? Do you think the letdowns finally arrived?
Not so much a Tennessee fade as much as I don't really see any numbers that like pop out on the screen to me.
Got it.
I mean, AJ Brown at 76.5, he could have a big game here, but I think teams are kind of keyed in. Like, if we have to take him away, he's our only real weapon. Make some of the under guys beat us. But I don't see anything else really. Maybe a Tannehill rushing yards, but
how about Pocket QB wants to know what about Tannehill to score a touchdown?
I don't hate it, but my worry there is he usually keeps those RPOs against teams that have very good defenses that could just stuff their running backs regardless of who it is. Even though AP is old enough to be my grandpa, he's still going to be able to bust.
Hey, he's younger than me.
He'll still be able to get in the end zone here against this. So that's my only worry there is he'll just give it to AP and just let him do all the work down there.
All right. So we will stay away from that, but I do not see a problem with it as much, but I'm higher on the Titans side. He says Tannehill loves to keep it on the goal line. Perfect rotation. So glad to see everyone in the chat today. Thank you guys for hanging out and making the show better as we try and find these winners. The San Francisco 49ers heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. The Niners +6. Hey, look ahead. Can we you do like look ahead? I like let down. Is this a letdown spot for the Niners coming off that huge win over the Rams, or the Jaguars so bad that you can let down and still beat them?
I think it's the second one. I think you could let down and still beat this team. I also think San Fran's in that kind of weird spot. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Kyle Shanahan being on the hot seat. Now we're talking about them having a letdown spot. I think they're kind of playing as if like they have like this urge and they need to win these games if they want any chance.
They do.
Playoffs. Yeah. So I think they come out, they cover the 7. I think they blow them out. Even with Elijah Mitchell doubtful, I think they'll still be fine to win this game.
All right.
Debo should have another big game. Kittle should tear this defense up. And whoever they put in at running back will be able to run behind this offensive line.
Hey, give me a tryout. I'm older than Adrian Peterson. Don't know if they will do that. So who are you looking at for props in this game?
I mean, we'll go straight to Debo. Yes, his receiving yards are set at 73.5. He has one of them catches where he bounces off of a guy and houses it from 50 yards. I mean, we're looking golden there. He gets pelted with the ball, even with Kittle back. So I love that 73.5 over.
What about the fun kid on the Jaguars, Agnew?
Talking about the kick returner that
Jamal
they use
Agnew.
like everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't bet a prop on him because he has these games where he catches the 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And the next game he doesn't do anything but catch kick returns. So
okay. Yeah. No,
that's my only worry there.
I just was impressed. I mean, I watch Red Zone on Sundays, right? And that kid He's fast. He's like Rondale Moore fast.
Yeah, you get the kicker turning the ball on a slant, and there's no one there to grab him. He
Yeah.
just goes, and
Yeah.
he's just running right to the end zone.
Yeah, I was like, this is Al Davis would love this, right? I'm wearing my Raiders today. I'm like, as Al Davis, I'm like, oh, I want this player on my team, right? So yeah, that's why I had to ask about Jamal Agnew, but the prop expert says no. Tells me not to force that play. Let's move on to the very next game. We have, oh boy, this is going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Tyler, we always give overs. Maybe we can give some unders here. The Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. I don't know if we've touched on this on Tuesday. Joe Flacco starting. What is this organization doing? I just don't understand it. Even if, okay, first of all, you're already out of the playoffs, so it's not like you're trying to win games. Why not let this kid get some run here? I just don't get it.
Yeah, it makes no
Regardless,
sense.
yeah, regardless. I mean, bad organizations make bad decisions, and this is another example. What do you think about this game? And hey, can we finally give out an under here, Tyler? If there is ever a game to do it, it's Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets, right?
I think I might have found one over you'll like.
Okay.
Flacco's interceptions minus 115.
Okay, that's it.
This Miami defense has picked up lately, and they do have ball hawks in the secondary. He's a statue back there. If they start getting pressure on him, he's just going to throw one up so he doesn't get hit.
Yeah.
I don't
My
hate
only
that.
concern is he doesn't really have any pressure, right? I mean, like I can't even believe he's still in the league. So I
Yeah,
mean, is he really going to force things, or do you think he'll just throw it away, take his 3 and outs, and be like, I can't believe I got 200 grand for this?
yeah, but I think he also is at that point where he's like, what do I have to lose? Like,
Yeah,
I can
great
just
point.
throw
I
the ball
guess you can make that argument both
throw
ways,
the
right?
ball 40 yards down the field. He picks it off. It's
Yeah,
like, well, this isn't my starting job to lose anyway.
that's too bad, man. That kid was such a fun story. I can't believe that they're just swiping it
I
away
still can't
from him.
believe he won a Super Bowl.
Well, that was in 2012.
Yeah, and he had the best defense, but it still baffles me that he was the quarterback of
I
a
mean,
Super Bowl winning team.
he wasn't that bad at that point, right? I mean, like if he was playing the way he was right now, I'd say, hey, that's a great decision, right? I mean, it's just he was never fast to begin with. He's 9 years older, and he's lost his fastball when he's throwing the ball. I just can't believe they're starting him. But yeah, he did win a Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers in a game that was a lot of fun. So you got the over interceptions, which kind of fits that we don't think there's going to be a lot of points on this in this game. Is there anything else you're looking at in this game?
The other thing I'd look at is Michael Carter's receiving yards over 24.5.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I haven't been quick to click that button is Mike White was targeting him every play. Now we have Flacco under center. He might want to move the ball more vertically down the field instead of dumping off, and he might actually take some shots to these receivers. That's my only worry there.
Okay. Sign Collectibles always good in our chat. I like to hear him. I was listening to Deep Dive this morning too. Heard you in their chat too. So glad to see you're moving around and giving great contributions everywhere. Signed Collectibles. I think he's got an interesting one here. Although you say that he might be throwing it up. What do you think of Flacco's long completion under 34.5 yards?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. This could be a very ugly game where this is like 10-3 at the end of the game. And it's like, wow, neither team's got up over 200 yards. And it could just be bad. But other than maybe hitting Corey Davis or Elijah Moore for a deep ball, I don't see where that over 39,
I don't either.
and a half comes from.
Yeah, and I think Howard and Byron Jones are going to be tough to beat, right?
Yeah,
it's not like there's an advantage matchup for him there. I mean, maybe the tight end sneaks through, or one of those dump offs that you were talking about earlier gets there. Carter just breaks one there. I actually don't hate that play either. And I've been dying to play some under, so thank you for that suggestion.
I think there's your under right there, spread.
Yeah, he found it for me. Thank you, Sign Collectibles. Anything else on this game, or did you want to move on? As I think most people will be when they're flipping through the channels and they find this on their TV.
No, we can just move on to the next one.
All right, this one's actually fun though. This is actually fun. New Orleans Saints are going to head to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles, a team that I cannot seem to get a handle on. Right? I thought that they would lose the Broncos last week. They looked great. Now they head home. They're going to take on a Saints team that's starting Trevor Siemian. So who knows what's up with that? Simeon's completed 58% of his passes so far, 547 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks there. I'm not sure exactly what to make of him. Going against an Eagles defense that we know loves to get after the quarterback. Simeon, we talked about Flacco, right? And Flacco is obviously the slowest of the slow. But Simeon, not that fast either when it comes to moving in the pocket. What are you looking at in this game?
I mean, looking at this game, I think this is the same spot where you take them through the underdog. I think you just take the money line because Philly's path to winning games these past couple weeks has been run the ball down opposing teams' throats and trying to limit Hurts in throwing the ball. Good luck doing that against the Saints' best rush defense in the league. They're going to stuff this run. Sirianni's going to look at the team and be like, I need to change something. They're going to force him to throw the ball. I think he's going to put them in a lot of bad places, and their offense is going to start to sputter again. So give me the Saints here. Hurts' interception, plus 110. I could see him lofting one up because he's being forced to throw the ball more because the run game's dead in this one, and he puts one into a bad spot. So I don't hate that either.
I threw the Hurts one in there. Are you still like the Saints? Our guy Pocket QB is telling us that Kamara is out.
I still like him. He doesn't really affect the defense. They'll still run Mark Ingram on offense. So all you have to do is stop this Philly team. You can win the game just like last one, 10-3. You can win it 6-0. But
so do you like the under here?
Philly, yeah, definitely an under game.
Okay, well maybe I'll just do that, and I'll take that interception prop and call it a day. Mark Ingram overs or anything like that, or are you staying away from the rest of those guys?
I was looking to see if we can get on his rushing attempts. I see 15.5. I think that's a bit high, but I think he could get over that.
Maybe a slow start, and you guys will be hitting that live Sunday on the Sports Keg Sunday Sack Exchange. Make sure you guys are watching. Be subscribed to the channel, and remember, some of that is behind the paywall. So to watch, you're going to have to head on over to runpurebets.com. Use the promo code BETS25 off to become a member. Get access to all the plays, the live shows behind the paywall, and, of course, the fantastic discourse going in the Discord. The Cincinnati Bengals head to Vegas to take on my Las Vegas Raiders. Tyler, I'm not sure what to make of this team, man. I think that Ruggs deal might have been the death blow, and I know that it's affected the team emotionally, but let's look on the football field. I mean, Deshaun Jackson just doesn't have the same gravity. I think Ruggs was almost up there with like Tyreek Hill being like the fastest. Deshaun Jackson can still move, right? But it's just not – I just don't think defensive coordinators are accounting for him like they were. Now they're playing tougher underneath, less opportunities for Waller, Edwards, and Renfro. Not sure what to make of this team. Maybe they bounce back this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they bounce back. I think it's more of a Cincinnati bounce back. They've had a couple bad games. Yes, their defense is going in a different direction from where they played top 5 in the first couple weeks. But I think their offense just overpowers the Raiders here. I think Jamar Chase comes back and has a big game.
Yeah.
I'm looking now to see if we can get a sack prop, though, because we know the Cincinnati offensive line is bad. Joe Burrow is going to be running from his life from guys like Max Crosby. So if we can get a nice sack prop, I think that's worth a shot.
All right. We will be looking. So it looks like those aren't out yet. And hey, another reason to become a member of runpurebets.com, because when that number drops, if there's still a value and it's an advantage plus EV play, Tyler will put it on the spreadsheet and you can get access to all those plays by becoming a member today. Use the promo code BETS25 off to become a member. Anyone on the Raiders side you like? I really don't know what to make of this game. They should be able to do good against this defense. And I think they're usually pretty bad against the tight ends. But after that gigantic week 1, Waller's been kind of quiet. And now without Ruggs, it's pretty easy to just key on taking him away, Belichick style. Anyone on the Raiders that you're targeting?
I mean, not really. The prop I've picked out in this game outside of the sack prop that I think is a winner is Jamar Chase over 74.5 receiving yards. Okay. I just see it being his bounce back game. Yeah. I don't see anybody on the Raiders side that's going to be able to stop him.
Right. I mean, Damon Arnett tried, but then he got arrested for it, right? I mean, he was trying to stop him the wrong way, right? We just don't think he can cover him.
Yeah, but I think he's just going to torch those corners in the secondary, and we know Burrow loves him as the deep ball guy, so he can catch a 30 to 40 yarder here, and then we could be looking golden. I think he's definitely clearing 100 yards here, though.
Yeah, I kind of like the Bengals team total over here too, because I don't know how the Raiders are going to perform, but I do think they will be able to score against that Las Vegas Raiders defense. The Dallas Cowboys head to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, who, hey, what was that old move, Tyler? I don't know if you remember. It's like there's this movie, I can't remember who it starred, but it's when Stella got her groove back, right? And she goes and she goes on vacation, and now all of a sudden, she's back and she's happy, and the sun is shining and the flowers smell great. I feel like that's what the Raiders did. They helped Stella get their groove back. In this case, Stella would be Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, as they absolutely slaughtered the Raiders and showed the defense that we've seen for the last 4 or 5 years as Raiders fans. I feel like that's all they need, right? It kind of opened the floodgates, and the Chiefs will be back to their old ways here. What do you think, Tyler? Is it too soon to proclaim the Chiefs are back?
I mean, me personally, I think so, but everyone and their mother is going to pencil them in as they're back. They're going to the Super Bowl, make them the favorite. Now, no Amari Cooper on the Dallas side kind of worries me because that's taking one of their weapons away. But they did get Gallup back the past couple weeks, so it'll just be CD, Gallup, and now Noah Miller will be the 3. You still have the 2 tight ends. You still have the 2 backs, so should still be a really good game. Now, I know Dallas loves to play a lot of cover 2 and put the 2 safeties high. Teams haven't been beating the Chiefs that way. They've been using different defenses. When Mahomes sees that kind of defense, he throws all over it. He sends Tyreek Hill deep, puts him 1-on-1, and just burns the guy. His over 2.5 passing touchdowns in this one is plus 130. I don't hate that at all.
Okay.
This is going to be a high-scoring game. I think he could just light him up. He might even get you those 3 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm on the over in this game. So I agree with you, and I like all the overs in this game. I think everybody eats. I think it's going to be a great game to watch if you like offensive football. If you're an old school guy stuck in the 80s, this might not be the game for you. Anyone else we're looking at before we move into the Sunday night game?
No, I mean, looking at it, CeeDee Lamb's yards were at 69.5 this morning before the Cooper news. He's up to 79.5, which only a 10-yard difference. I think you still hit the over there. He's now the number 1 receiver. He should get pelted with the ball. And Gallup's number's up to 54.5, which is kind of high. So I'll just stick with the CeeDee Lamb one.
All right. And excuse me, my mistake. We have one more game on the afternoon or evening slate, depending on what side of the country you're on. But the Arizona Cardinals are going to play the Seattle Seahawks. And there's probably not a lot for this game, right? I think that's why I passed it over. It hasn't been on the board very much this week because we're not sure about Murray. And then Wilson didn't look very good last week either. What do you make of this game? And are we getting involved at all? Are they even posting anything?
I mean, the only thing I see for this game are touchdown scores. But just like you said, this game, you can't bet this game till Sunday morning when you know who's inactive and active. You honestly probably can't bet this game till 4 o'clock when they finally let you know if Kyler Murray's going to play or not.
And if you're on the West Coast, 4 o'clock might be the best time to bet this game because I think you're fine staying away from it altogether. Bet it in the fourth quarter when we know what's going to happen because I think there's a variety of results here.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this game going either way, so probably just a complete stay away from me. But, I mean, maybe a DK Metcalf touchdown at even money. You should be able to burn this defense and get in the end zone, but
let's talk about Russ real quick. He looked bad last week. Do you expect him to bounce back?
I think he'll bounce back. Okay. Cardinals don't get as much pass pressure. Green Bay's defense has been playing out of their mind. And that was in Lambeau, so it's just I think it was a bad environment for him to come back into in his first game. I also think he rushed it a bit.
Yeah, he definitely rushed being back. So I didn't think he was healthy, and that's why I'm just wondering how well he will do in this very next game. Let's talk about this game tonight. The team, we're not going to let your source, we're not going to let people know who your source is. But Tyler, coming with the inside information. So do you know who's going to start at quarterback, Tyler? Or are you giving that information away yet for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they head to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers?
No, it should be Ben that starts. But you don't have Minka. And you don't have TJ Watt, like I told you on Tuesday.
Well, so TJ could be back.
No, he's already rolled out.
He's rolled out?
Yep, they rolled him out right before we started this show. Both of them.
Okay, cool. Because Holden and I did the show this morning, and he was still questionable at that point.
Yeah, he was. It was right around 4 o'clock. He got rolled out, and so did Minka.
Can we just jump in on the Chargers then? Like I could just bet that game now, right?
I gave him out -4 to our subscribers beforehand spread. I think this is just the game where the Pittsburgh just comes in flat. Everyone's going to say, oh, well, this is a home game for Pittsburgh, even though it's in Los Angeles. They're going to have a full stadium. It's like, it doesn't matter when your 2 key pieces on defense are missing.
Is it a home game if you spend the night in a hotel, though? I mean,
yeah.
I just hate this idea that the crowd is a part of home court advantage, home field. I'm sorry, we're not playing basketball, especially in the NFL. Where the audibles matter and stuff, right? But you still have to travel to Los Angeles. You still have the pitfalls of being in Los Angeles, which is Saturday night's pretty fun in Los Angeles, right? So I think that gets overplayed too much. And I'm sorry to interrupt. That's just a pet peeve of mine when everyone acts like traveling to Los Angeles or anything from Pittsburgh it isn't like,
Not a
fatiguing
short
or you
flight
shouldn't
spread.
be.
That's like
Yeah.
an 8-hour flight.
Yeah, I know, and we need to get you to do it sometime. Could get you out here in California, Tyler. So we need to get you on that 8-hour flight soon. But that being said, I'm so glad that you gave that number out to the subscribers because it's sitting at 6 right now. And hey, it's crazy. More games in the last 4 years have landed on 5 than 8. So you think that 5 isn't a key number? It actually means more than you think. So I think you did a great job getting that number. So great work by you. Now, how are you attacking this game when it comes to the props?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the props, I don't see much listed on the Charger side, and that's where I want to be in this game.
Yeah.
I'd probably go rate the Keenan Allen's anytime touchdown at plus 130.
Okay.
Joe Hayden's the only real corner for this Pittsburgh team, and he's on the pretty much on the decline at this point.
Yeah.
No Minka over the top to help him. One of these two receivers is just going to torch this team. It's usually the better route runner coming in versus this Pittsburgh team that kills them. That's Keenan Allen. I could see this being a big Keenan Allen game where he just torches this defense. So plus 130 to get in the end zone, I like that.
All right. Well, that is the show for today. That is all the games that we've gone through. So, guys, hey, we're here doing this. Tyler's giving you great information, studying so hard to be able to do this. I'm hosting the show, and I'm glad to hang out and get the information from Tyler. But please, as a thank you, go ahead, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, and hey, share with your friends. Hey, tweet it out on your timeline. I'd really appreciate that, right? If Tyler's giving you some winners, you cash some of these tickets, that would be a great way to say thank you, Tyler, for giving us those winners. Remember, head on over to runpurebets.com. Use the promo code BETS25 off to go ahead and become a member. Tyler, let's give our favorite bets that you gave out today, and I will start. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to steal the very best one. I'm taking that Nick Chubb one, man. At first I was a little cautious, right? But the plus 450 for over 1.5 touchdowns, I mean, give me that. I think when you factor in the price that you're getting, that's the best prop that you've given out today. What is your favorite prop, Tyler?
The Christian McCaffrey just to get in the end zone once at minus 125.
All right.
We've seen this dude priced at like minus 200 all last year.
Yeah.
Now he has a couple weeks where he doesn't score and he was injured. They're going to price him down like this. I could see him walking in on the first drive for Carolina, so give me that.
All right, so Tyler and I are targeting two of the very best running backs in the NFL. I like Nick Chubb over 1.5 TDs at plus 450, and Tyler's going to take McCaffrey over 0.5 TDs at, what is it, minus 125, you said?
Yep.
Great price, great price. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I already told you, if you like it, share it. We love it. Run Pure.